Hello, everybody. Welcome to CasualCast episode 10. My name's Alex Whitehair, and with me I have Chris Buhner,
Yo, what's up?
Alex Henderson.
Hi.
Rick couldn't make it, but we do have Nick Cooper.
Hello.
And Matt Hillman, who
I'm a
apparently has
Murloc.
his mouth full and is a Murloc.
I'm a Murloc.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Yeah, the best thing, actually, from World of Warcraft. I think everybody
Dude, right?
who played that game would agree. Murlocs are what keep you coming back every time you log in. You're like, I'm going to see some Murlocs today.
I suppose?
Yeah,
No.
I don't necessarily.
As somebody that played that game for a very long time, I don't feel...
No,
I'm
just
just
I was
a fan of the
being very
Murlocs.
sarcastic. Fuck Murlocs.
All
Oh.
things Murloc. Sometimes you just wake up one day and you're like, man, I wish I was a Murloc.
I could use more Murloc in my life.
I killed
Yeah,
a
right.
couple of those when I played it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, how's everybody doing this week? How's everybody been?
I have
Well,
things.
oh, go for it, Matt Hillman. I have a lot of things. Henderson has a lot of things, but you can go first.
Yeah, because mine are shitty. I joined Alex's Minecraft little group, and we've been digging out this massive hole in Minecraft, and that's been taking up a lot of my time.
Grompton? You joined the Grompton group?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
why yet?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
A select few people know why.
Yes.
I know
I
why.
wouldn't say that nobody knows, but yeah, we haven't told the general public yet, and we're gonna keep that under wraps. But yeah, we've been digging out like shit tons of cobblestone and dirt, and so we've been using that for fun things and
Are you building something in the hole or building something with the stuff from the hole?
both.
Why not both?
Excellent.
Yep. But while doing that, I've actually been watching Cheers again because I watched Cheers like 2 years ago. I watched a bunch of them, and it's a really good show. It's about a bar called Cheers, and
I've been there.
I don't know. I have too.
Yeah,
Where
it's
is
cool
it?
place.
Where is
It's
it?
in Boston.
It's in
Oh.
Boston. Yeah, there's two actually. There's
Boston.
one that the show was based on, and then there's another one that has the name Cheers. So there's two. But I think I've been to the one called Cheers. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either which one I went to. I just
But
was
yeah.
walking around Boston. It was like, hey, that's the Cheers bar. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
let's go check it out.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good show. I like it, and I've been doing that while endlessly mining. So that's been real fun.
I have been, while I've been mining, I've been using this as an opportunity to listen to music and like kind of actively do it, because normally I'll just throw stuff on while I'm playing like other games, and you don't really listen to it to really like analyze it or anything. So I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything. Let me just start listening to a bunch of albums I've never listened to before. And that's been a lot of fun. We've been doing me and a few other people in TeamSpeak have been doing like, I give them a song that like I like that they probably haven't heard, and then they give me one. And so we like pop around through all different genres and stuff. And it's a really fun way to pass the time while holding down left click and occasionally letting go of W to like spin your mouse and then doing that for another like 10 minutes. But that's yeah, there's been a lot of that in Minecraft. That's what we've been up to. But I think Chris and Henderson both have pretty cool stuff to talk about, at least for this week, especially Henderson.
I'm not sure if we want to dive into Henderson's quite yet, because I feel like that'll be
Go ahead and do everything else first.
Okay.
Like a half an hour.
All right, so I, along with Nick and I both finished Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed Rogue this week. Oh, I didn't say the thing that you thought I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, you did.
I was gonna do that next. So yeah, no, Assassin's Creed Rogue is a good game. And we finished it, and it's gonna be the thing we talk about in our third Vault cast. But I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much because I want to save it for the show. But to leave it out of something that happened this week just isn't fair, because it was a big part. Because Nick and I put a lot of time into that game this week. And then I was inspired to go back and play some Assassin's Creed Unity. And it took me all of maybe 20 minutes. Nick and I played a co-op mission. We were like, that's alright, we're done. But more exciting, out of the two of us, we went for a hike today around
Oh boy.
a nature preserve
Got that
state.
Snapchat while I was on a
State
plane,
park?
and it was really loud.
The state park, Moraine Hills in Illinois. And we walked 7 miles today with our friend Warren. I'm kind of tired. Are you tired, Nick?
I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, we had a long
Yeah.
long
Take a nap.
long day. Yeah, did you take a nap?
No, not yet.
Oh, I mean, I laid down for like 20 minutes, and my family was watching Downton Abbey.
Downtown Abbey?
Which I thought maybe the soothing, the British tones would be nice to listen to every once in a while, because they're pretty much just like low spoken, just like British people just like making quips at each other and stuff like that. But then every once in a while, like it would just be like shattered by people in the room just like laughing because Professor McGonagall said something hilarious.
I went to sleep 3 of the 4 past nights listening to some British man talk about animals on planet Earth on BBC America.
That sounds awesome.
It was nice.
That sounds nice. But yeah, no, we had a great walk. We made fun of trees.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you guys send help because there was a tree branch in the path or something.
Neither of us could roll dex rolls high enough.
It was
to jump
fun.
over it.
There was this one guy.
Wow.
There was one guy though, who was living the dream. Like as we were leaving, and I pretty much died a little bit inside because he's doing exactly what I wanted to do. First of all, this man is running through a state park, so he's already winning. Second of all, he has a dog with him, a really pretty dog too, like really nice, like shining coat, and the dog was really well behaved, didn't like attack anybody or like make any like goes for us as we walked past. Third, he was nice, he was very polite. Fourth, this dog, the second time we saw him, was running next to him without his leash being held. He was just like dragging his leash behind him. These two were just like running next to each other through this park, and this dog was awesome. Awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It takes some serious training to get your dog to do that right, but
Yeah.
it's really nice once it's, working.
Right,
Not with bulldogs, or at least granted, I've only owned 2, but with both of them, no training involved. They're just so scared of the world. They just want to be by your side no matter what. You take them off the leash and they never leave because they're scared of everything. Like the trees like rustle in the wind and they're like, what was that? Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Like,
your German Shepherd is also kind of like that.
Yeah, but when he sees another dog, he goes psycho. So I don't walk him because he weighs
Okay.
like as much as me.
Yeah, and he's a dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was. I aspire to be that gentleman. So whoever you were, I know you're a listener because who doesn't listen to us? You're the man. You're the man. So yeah. Other than that, we saw some dams and stuff. McHenry is a very pretty place if you let it be pretty, even though most of it was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like Decatur.
Yeah. Oh, high five! Dang.
Boom.
Yeah.
We made so many Decatur jokes.
We did. So all right. Should we tell what the story behind that is?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go for it. It's. I mean.
No, you
all right, fine. So people, you guys know, Nick Cooper moved here. He's a brand new spanking Illinoisian, right?
Yep.
And so pretty much he moved here and he was hanging out, I think, with Hillman and me or somebody else. And I think Hillman made a joke about Decatur being shitty, which if you're not from Illinois, Decatur's a place and it's shitty.
Yeah. Not to demean Decatur.
No, but like that was another one of the things we talked about was like, I think Warren says, does Decatur know that it's shitty? And I said Decatur is like Skynet and it's self-aware and knows that it's shitty.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, people talk like mad garbage about where they come from all the time. We speak ill of where we live, but it's a pretty nice place to live. Anyway, Decatur's a thing. And so Nick's like, all right, cool. So like, if I want to be like somebody from Illinois, I just gotta like make a joke about how Decatur is like something bad. And so he made like 4 of them today, and they were great. Basically, it's followed up by howling and high fives. But but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna turn it into the anti-Decatur joke. And it was pretty much just like putting it in places where it was just completely inappropriate for it to go. That's what she said. So like, kind of like, we walked past some trees and I said, that looks like a mammoth died here, just like Decatur, high five. And, yeah, it was a good time. Had a good time.
I'm gonna go with Henderson on this one and say, like, why are you making fun of Decatur? You should be making fun of like DeKalb or someplace that's actually close.
No, DeKalb's got NIU though. I mean,
DeKalb's
It
not
does
like.
a bow on a turd make it not a turd?
makes it a pretty turd.
I mean,
Miss Turd.
I
Miss
would
Turd.
guess that the count, like DeKalb County, is probably like, when you look at everything, probably like 70% corn. Like,
Yeah,
Yep.
probably about that. But then again, that's most of Illinois, so.
that's true. That's true. But like,
There's
you know,
Chicago and then there's Illinois. The entire state is ruled by Chicago.
and we live in that one unique place where if we drive like southeast, it continues being rural. If we go like any other direction, or sorry, it continues being like suburban and then urban. And then if you any other direction, it just turns into corn. Like,
Yeah.
30 minutes from our house, we can just be in nothing but just rolling cornfields.
Yeah.
It's actually
Or
yeah,
Wisconsin.
yeah, that's true too.
Go far enough north, you get cheese. Lots of cheese.
Yeah, I want to know where the point is where it turns from corn into cheese and what that looks like. Is there hybrid cheese corn somewhere in between? And where does the beer come from?
Cheddar curtain, man.
Well, you know,
Cheddar
like,
curtain.
well, I'm an expert on this. Hold on. So I worked at a movie theater. You know, like when people put like cheese on their popcorn.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. There's just big popcorn factories that get the best of both worlds. They're getting their corn from Illinois and their cheese from Wisconsin.
That's awesome.
And combine them on the border and then ship them to the rest of the country.
But where are the curds at? That's what I want to know.
Where are the beavers?
Yo, where are them curds at?
Beaver.
Yeah, where are the beavers? Was the
Yeah,
time we...
we went to the dam at the park and we didn't see any beavers.
Like, is there an actual beaver dam there?
No.
No,
Oh.
there's
No,
dam,
there's
no
the
bars.
like Fox River Dam, and like one of the paths opens up to that in like a parking lot over there, and a concession stand which was closed, and we almost died to some geese, but yeah, and then he was
Those
talking
fuckers are mean.
he was talking about beavers, and I was like, well, wait, what were you talking about? The Hoover beavers, right?
Yeah, the
The illustrious Hoover beaver family. Yeah.
Hey, fun fact about that place.
The
Well,
Hoover
it's actually
Dam?
just about the world. But do you know what a moraine is?
No.
Those are the hills and stuff that are left behind from the glaciers when they initially like came down and then started receding. They leave like these big line like hills that are accumulations of like boulders and dirt and shit.
Dude, glaciers are the artists of our time,
Yeah, man.
and from
But
a
no,
long
it's why
time
it's called
before us.
Moraine Hills because there's tons of those there. I actually had to do an assignment for my geology class where we went there and we had
Cool.
to take pictures of the shit and stuff. I don't think I actually found any like really visibly distinct ones. I think
You
I
couldn't
looked
find any
around-
glaciers?
Yeah, no, I looked everywhere, man.
I couldn't find any. Couldn't find
It
any.
was like 60 degrees, and I just couldn't find a glacier.
That's
I
probably
prime.
beaver.
That's prime glacier weather. You gotta be careful, man. They're slow, but they're quiet.
You're not wrong. Glaciers are really cool stuff, though.
Yeah, they are.
Because like, not just like the giant ones that were here like in the Ice Age, but there are still glaciers in mountain regions and stuff, just like slowly carving out valleys and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen mountains before.
I've never seen a glacier in my life.
That's pretty
Me
sad,
either.
guys.
I mean, I've gone through a couple of icebergs in Assassin's Creed Rogue, but other than that, I don't think I've actually seen a glacier.
Yeah, and they were beautiful when you just destroyed them.
Yeah, well, they're okay. It's their fault for having collectibles inside of them. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Is this a
so
thing?
yeah, they would put like animus fragments, which is one of the collectibles in the game, like in a glacier, and it'd be like glowing. And then I'd be like, front bow cannons or bow cannons, whatever the fuck, and then you shoot like cannonballs at them, and they just explode, and like a big old tidal wave would come out, and you'd be like, I'm gonna go in there, and then it takes a little bit of damage from some ice floating around, and then you'd get the animus fragment, and then you'd be that's okay. Multiply that experience by like 40 hours, and
Oh God.
and then that's pretty much what Nick and I did. So no, but I don't want to talk about that game. I'm saving it. Don't make me talk about that game.
Okay, don't talk about that game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's instead talk about. Has anybody been playing anything other than Assassin's Creed, League of Legends, or Bastion and Transistor this week? And Minecraft. We covered those.
I picked up Ori and the Blind Forest.
Ooh,
how is
Far in
that?
It, though. It started off really sad. I made it about 20 minutes in before I went on my trip, though.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I made it 20 minutes before like I cried or something.
Before I started
was like,
crying.
Oh shit.
No. I was really sad at the beginning, though. I started running around getting collectibles, and then it was time to go to sleep, and I, went on a trip the next morning.
How's the gameplay?
2D side scroller.
No, I know, but like, is it polished?
I mean-
How's it feel?
What else is there to say?
It felt clean from when I was
Okay.
playing. But again, I don't have a massive amount of experience on this game yet.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's definitely going on my wish list. I'll probably pick that up during the summer sale or
It's
something.
definitely beautiful, though. So, like, I'm not very far into it yet. It's already just, like, every second of the game has looked fantastic.
Well, that's encouraging to hear. That's exciting.
It's definitely interesting.
So
I played New Game Plus of Transistor. I know we weren't going to talk about it, but I played New Game Plus of Transistor, and I found something out. Turns out, when you run out of skills to get, they give you the same skills again. So you can duplicate them and use more than one at the same time.
Oh, so you
What?
can modify them?
That sounds broken.
I know. So
Wait.
now I have 2 breaches.
What
and
if
I can
you...
actually equip both of them and just give them different modifiers, or I can modify breach with a breach to give it like more damage and range or something.
Okay.
Great.
That was gonna be
Cool.
yeah, that was gonna be my question. I want to know what happens
What?
if you put you modify a breach with a breach. But
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what that one does specifically, but it like upgrades it with more damage or something. I don't know.
we breached your breach, so you can breach
Yeah.
while you breach.
Exactly.
You're
But
not
I
wrong.
leveled up, and then it was like offering me all these skills that I already had, and I was like, "What's going on?" So I just like picked one, and it turns out I had 2 of them. So it's pretty cool.
nice.
So related to that, well, not that game, but to Bastion, Hillman and I this week hung out and did a
Ooh.
cover of a song from Bastion.
I have to make
which
that public.
was a ton of fun.
That's gonna go public
Yeah, go
as
first.
we're doing this show right now.
Oh, nice. We can throw that in Twitch chat. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's on the Warfinch YouTube channel if
It
you
is.
guys want to check that out. But yeah, we had a good time. I played guitar and Hillman donated his beautiful voice and we rocked it. No, don't. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The guitar was like tuned down really low and it was super rumbly and it was just, I don't know, I had fun.
It was a lot of fun recording for sure.
Hillman got to see my my amazing producing skills, all that
Yeah, man.
cut and paste and high pass filters and stuff. Oh boy.
All of a sudden, I didn't sound like shit,
Nah.
Ha!
which explains a lot, you know.
That's what you say.
Like Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber.
We should have like T-Pain auto-tuned you for
Would have been
it.
cool. Would have been cool.
It would just increase the production value by a ton.
Yeah. Oh boy, can you imagine? That would have been absolutely terrible. We should just do a cover album where we just ruin like tons and tons of like songs just with like really bad auto tuning and like make them like synthy and shit and
I'd be down. I'd be down.
Smells like Teen Spirit. Auto-tuned.
It's already like garbled enough. Oh, damn it.
I'm still putting the video up. So if you're waiting on me, keep going.
all right.
Not
Well,
waiting on you.
Henderson, do you want to tell us about your trip?
I was about to say, I'm excited
Yes.
to hear about
So,
this.
I went to Seattle with my dad this past week-ish. So we left at 4 a.m. on Saturday, and I got home about an hour before this started. So, okay, but let's see. We did a shitload of stuff while I was there, so I'm trying to like figure out where to start. I guess.
Did you ride on that big Space Needle thing?
Yes, I did. So the first day we
Okay.
got there, we drove north from the airport towards, Seattle proper. Because the airport's stuck right in between Seattle and Tacoma, because they're pretty close already. So we drove north towards Seattle and saw that there was a huge Boeing museum there. And Boeing is a company that makes airplanes. So
Yeah, they are.
my dad's a pilot, and his birthday was during this trip. So we ended up going to that for one of the things there.
That sounds
However, on
really
that-
cool.
Yeah, it was that museum itself is pretty neat because they had a couple of airplanes set up that you could walk through. One of them was one of the only supersonic passenger jets that were ever made. There was the old Air Force One, like the original one. Oh God, what else? There's another one there. Ooh, and then there was a 787 there, which is Boeing's newest airplane. And like the only reason I found this one super duper freaking interesting is because they've got this like instead of like the wings sticking straight out like you'd expect from a classic plane, they've got like this swept back look that makes the plane just look a lot like a bird, to be completely honest.
Huh. Do they have any like replicas of like the giant turbines that are on like the huge like 747s and stuff so you can see just like the scale of these engines?
They had a couple of them without the covers off in the museum.
Oh geez, that must have been really cool.
Yeah.
How big are those?
Were
Like the
they were
diameter?
oh God, I don't know. They were taller than I am
Yeah.
by 3 or 4 feet minimum. Those things have some serious size and oomph to them.
So what else did you do?
Oh God, let's think. So on the first day, we checked in. We were thinking we were going to be too tired to do stuff, so we didn't really plan anything. However, we were within walking distance of the Space Needle. So we decided, screw it, let's go to the Space Needle. On the way there, we ran into Frank. And
For
Super
those of
Frank is
you-
one of the people that helps us behind the scenes here, hangs out a lot in TeamSpeak. He moved to Seattle like 9 months ago. And while, just walking through the streets of the friggin' city, we just run into Frank. Sitting there playing some basketball, being Mr. Frank. And then, we just say, oh, hi, go do the Space Needle. We go up, take some pictures, hang out, poke through the gift shop for a little bit. And then we're walking back and we run into him again. Oh, God, I don't know. It's just, even though we knew he was in the city, it's like the chances of just randomly walking into somebody's
It's a
home
big
in the
city.
downtown city.
Yeah, it's a big
not
city.
A small city.
Right.
But that was definitely one of the funnier things we did there. The next day, so the Space Needle's in this park that has a lot of just stuff sitting in it, I think is the right word. So we went back to that park the next day and then did the rest of the things in that park. Like one of them was a Chihuly Garden and Glass, which was just this really, really cool art museum that had a bunch of works of like glass blowing art. It was really, really pretty. And there's this one spot where it's like this greenhouse that has a bunch of chandeliers, like hand-blown glass chandeliers hanging from there that you can look up and see the Space Needle in. And it's freaking awesome.
Did you get a bunch of cool pictures of that?
Yes. I will try and get them to Chris so we can put them maybe on Facebook or something like that. Some of the cooler ones. The rest of that day, I'm trying to think. Oh, that's right. The second half of that day, we went to the Seattle Aquarium. So that aquarium's got nothing on the shed. However, it was still worth poking around for one afternoon. It was pretty small comparatively if you're thinking about shed aquarium in like downtown Chicago, but they had some otters, they had a couple of seals, they had a lot of the smaller stuff like octopuses or octopi, I don't know, whatever. There was a couple starfish, all the anemones and a bunch of tropical, you know what I mean? Like they're the standard complement for an aquarium. It was definitely a neat little trip though.
Okay.
And after that, like I've always been interested in the city, so my dad basically decided that we're going to go look around everywhere because I've wanted to live in the city for a while, and after going there and just spending the time there, I know for a fact that I'm going to move there eventually. My current plan is to do it in about 4 years because I'll have enough experience to get a senior engineering position. And I mean I love this city so much.
It's really great. It's pretty much like the London of the States, to be honest.
I can see that. Because the rest of the time
there.
we spent there, we'd spent one half of the day doing like some touristy stuff, and then we spent the other half of that day driving. Because the first day we drove very far north to a ferry that took us to Whidbey Island. And we took, there's this one highway that goes through the entirety of the island, and we drove through that entire island all the way up to something called Deception Pass, which is just the most beautiful bridge I have seen in a decade, easily, because it's incredible. I've got some pictures
Suspension?
I'll post up there. No, it's not a suspension bridge, but it's in the middle of a state park, and there's some whales that were in the area, so there was a lot of people hanging out on the bridge trying to see if they could see the whales.
That's
and
cool.
whatnot.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really, really pretty area. And then we drove all the way to the north end of Whidbey Island, and just took our time driving back. And I'd look at real estate and rent prices and all that stuff while we were going through there. Found out that the northern part of Whidbey Island has a lot of pick your own strawberries, pick your own blueberries, pick your own berry farms, and stuff like that. All looked pretty good.
We got those in Illinois.
Oh yeah.
We also have whales in our state parks as well. We saw some.
Oh yeah. That same day, I drove about 100 meters from Valve's headquarters, so that was interesting. I mean, they're really close to Seattle. We drove through the same town that's there, and I noticed we drove. I looked it up online because I knew they were somewhere near here, and I noticed as we were driving by, oh shit, that's Valve's headquarters. Cool.
Did you go to the first Starbucks while you were there?
I did not, because neither me or my
You
dad are coffee nuts.
You were right there. You sent me a picture from across the street from it. I didn't even see it. I knew exactly where you were because you were at Pike's Place Market, which, by the way, is awesome.
Yes, we went there on the first day too. That was fantastic. My dad was super excited to get me to go see the shop that throws the fish. That was the first thing.
Yes.
We're gonna go see the shop that throws the fish, and then we sat there for 20 minutes waiting for them to throw some goddamn fish.
Wait, what? I don't know what this is.
There's shops so Pike Place is just an open air market that has a lot of interesting shops there. It's a huge variety of stuff there.
It's awesome.
And one of the more popular shops there is like seafood. They sell crabs and fish and all that stuff. And when somebody buys stuff from them, they take it from the front display case and then throw it up to the people in back who package it up and then charge you for it. And they make a big spectacle of it. And it's a kind of a neat little thing.
That's cool.
Just go look for the fish shop that throws the fish when you go to Pike Place Market.
It's really cool. Yeah, pretty much just people just stand around and they just yell stuff and they throw fish at you.
Yeah.
It's great.
That doesn't sound. That's not my general definition of a good time. It's people yell at me and throw fish at me.
Well, I know it doesn't, but when you go there and
some fish, motherfucker.
when you're expecting it, it's a different experience.
Hey man, what'd you do this weekend? Oh well, I went to this city and they just yelled at me and threw fish. It was great. You should definitely go.
That's not how it works, but it's a really cool thing. It's just it's just a thing that they're known for. But there's a lot of really good places to eat there, and it's a shame that neither of you guys are coffee drinkers because the coffee in that city, just anywhere in general, wow. Did you guys do the underground tour?
We did not.
Okay.
The big thing that so we did 2 different days. Where the third day we did that airplane museum we talked about. Did driving as well. On that day, we made it to an island called Bremerton on the opposite side of the Sound by driving all the way down through Tacoma. It's because, we just wanted to explore the area because, it's really pretty all on its own.
Yeah.
All those mountainous national parks really close that you can see on a clear day and all that.
Right, yeah.
But, I noticed that the rent in an island called Bremerton was, less than I'm paying now. So I was like, shit, let's just go poke around here and see what happens. And I found out that there's a ferry there that takes you straight to downtown Seattle. It's about an hour each way. For $100 a month. It takes your car and you too on the trip across the Sound. And those ferries are really, really, really neat.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. It's also not so bad of a commute.
Yeah, no, it's not. For $100 a month, I would happily live with an hour commute because I really like this area, and I think I'd move up there. I'd rent for a year or two, save up some money, then try and find a house. Honestly, because by the time I'm doing this, I'll almost be 30. So you know what I mean? Shit, I don't know. I really, really like this area. It's really cool.
All right, but now question for you, because when I went to Boston, I really liked that city, and I was I could totally see myself moving there or something. But does it at all phase you that you wouldn't know anybody there? Because I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things that would keep me in the Midwest and keep me in Chicago for the bulk of my life.
I see a grand total of 2 people in person that I can call my friends every week. The rest of you are all in TeamSpeak, so I think I'd be okay.
I guess that's a fair point.
No. I wouldn't miss the corn either. It is. The problem is, those 2 weeks, I'm struggling to breathe, so... Seasonal allergies. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I already said this.
Yeah.
I did not see them feed the octopi. I did see them feed this one huge fucking tank of fish, though. Because, like, we walked through it, and it was, like, 5 minutes till feeding time, and it was just, like, they had a couple divers come in, you know, did a show or whatever, like, you know, talked about it, all that stuff. It was really cool. They had, like, a bag filled with, like, fish parts that they just fed to the other fish. Yeah, it's surprising how much stuff they have packed in there. But I did forget to mention, we also went to the Woodland Park Zoo. I would recommend going to this zoo if you're ever in the area, because it's not as big as Brookfield. It doesn't have as much stuff as Brookfield, but wow, they use that space really well, and it's different. Like, you know what I mean? Oh God, it's got a lot of interesting exhibits in there, and they've got a lot of really neat stuff that just doesn't play out the same like in any other zoo I've ever been to. It was a unique experience, and, you know, I've been to like a half dozen zoos in my life, so, you know, this one stuck out a lot more than the rest.
Milwaukee has some nice zoos, right?
Yeah, I've been there. And, you know, it was nice. They had, like, you know, it was pretty big, had a decent, you know, amount of stuff.
They have a
zoo in DC too.
They have a penguin tank at the beginning of that zoo?
The one in Seattle?
No, in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
it's
so
been, like, 6
too.
years since I've been.
Oh well, you know what? Pretty much all I rate the success and the quality of a zoo based on the position of the penguin tank and how many penguins they have in that penguin tank.
Good news! You walk in the door from the Seattle Zoo, and on your right is the penguin tank.
That's awesome.
With something in the neighborhood of a dozen of them.
Cute.
There were several seagulls mocking them too, because it was an open tank, and they would just, you know, sit at the top of it and just be like, ah.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favorite things about this zoo in general, though, is they had a lot of exhibits where you could walk into, and there was, like, free roaming birds. Like, you know, the birds were flying around. There was nothing separating you from them. You know, they were just sitting there doing their thing, like eating, singing, whatnot. And there was like a dozen of those throughout the thing. They were all really cool.
So was it like the area you walked through, like a door though, that prevented them from getting out and just flying? Okay.
There was 2 layers of doors, you know, making sure, you know, you don't accidentally bring a visitor with you.
Like the airlock.
Yeah. But I'd recommend. It was a really cool trip.
Yeah, you should vacation there. There's some really cool historic parts. You're just like, wow, yeah, this used to be an old town. But, like, they built on. If you took the underground tour, they tell you about how they built on top of the old town. Actually, what ground level is, especially in the older parts, is actually the second floor.
I also kind of have to imagine that this city has to be murder when it snows.
Oh, probably.
I know it'll happen occasionally, and some of those streets were like, it was raining one of the days we were there. Seattle rain, but it was raining one of the days we were there, and just our car like had troubles getting up a couple of those hills. Like, you know, it was not easy. I don't know. I really, really like that town. I want to visit again someday, and I hope to move there in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where I want to go?
Where?
I really want to go see, amongst other places, I've never been to New York. I don't think I'd ever want to live there.
New York City?
New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I've been there. I have a story about that, actually.
Yeah, did you perform there?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry, go on.
No, I went with my family. It was cool. It was actually cool because it was like January, so jackets. Um, but I we were going to go to this museum, right? And it was like some sort of battleship or something. It was like a navy museum of some sort. And I look on the map and I'm like, dude, it's only like 5 blocks away. We can walk 5 blocks, right? And my family's like, yeah, sure, we'll walk 5 blocks. Well, it turned out being more like 15 city blocks, which, if you've been to a city or know what a city block is, that's a pretty far walk. That's like 2 miles or so, maybe a little bit more. And I'm with my family, and it's cold, and I screwed up. Yeah. So that was fun. But overall, like, I really,
Great
really
story,
liked
dude.
New York. Yeah, that was my story. I tell it at parties, and then I found $5. Goodbye.
Nice.
Oh boy.
That's the way to do it.
What did I do? One time I was going to a show in the city, and the city being Chicago, and that's where, that's what we live by. And we were gonna take a cab. We're going to the Congress Theater, and there's the Congress Theater. I don't actually remember what neighborhood it's in, but it's like, it was a really old theater. It's got like a big like dome ceiling and like a really grand like marble staircase and stuff. But it's like in the middle of a not the greatest area. It's not too bad, but you probably don't want to be walking around at night. And then there's another really nice one like in the Loop. And so the cab driver dropped us off at the one at the Loop, and I'm like 13 years old at this point, so I don't have any idea what's going on. And we're looking around, we're like, wait, shit, this is wrong. So we're like, well, fuck it. We're like, we went in the wrong, like, let's just take the L. So now it's like me and like my 13-year-old friends like hopping on the L and stuff, having no idea. None of us have ever like navigated the city using public transportation before. And we somehow ended up in a really, really bad neighborhood. And not super bad, but like enough to the point where we were being followed down the street by people going, well, 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 look what we've got here. And I thought I was going to die. That was one of the
That's awesome.
scariest like
But like
situations I've ever been in.
In
Like,
retrospect, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was fine. We survived. But there was a little bit of running. There was a lot of being scared. And I'm still here. Eventually, we found ourselves in a place where we didn't feel immediately threatened, and we're just like, let's just call a cab. And we made it. We missed the first band, but it was a real big Fish concert. Actually, is what we were going to. And you know what? They did not disappoint. It was a great. They ended up saving the night from like the maybe near death experience that I had.
Perfect.
You know what? I'm almost wondering if you weren't just in like a predominantly black neighborhood that wasn't all that bad, that saw a couple of white teenagers running around in it and thought, let's fuck with some kids.
I'm sure that was it.
Yeah, they could have just been picking on you.
Yeah, actually, in a little bit, I know exactly where we are. I'll pull it up and figure out what neighborhood I was in, because I think at least by now it's a nice neighborhood. I don't know what it was like.
Inglewood.
8 years.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Inglewood.
Let's Decatur, am I right?
We have the L to Decatur. Jesus,
It's getting old already.
I know, right?
That's the point. I'm trying to kill it.
Oh, well then you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
The thing about Decatur jokes, though, is like people in Illinois, like, yeah, like Decatur's not a great place, but we don't really like actively make fun of it. It's not like we're like, oh, Decatur, like.
You sure? I'm
yourself.
pretty sure you just did that. Oh.
Nick, being a longtime Illinoisan, has the right.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
Has
Decatur's
anyone
the
actually
worst.
been to Decatur? I've been to Decatur.
Thank God, no.
I'm looking at a map, and no, I've never even driven through it, because anytime I'm down like that far south in Illinois, I'm heading to like St. Louis, and
Yep.
you do not go through
You go right
Decatur.
through Springfield, but you miss Decatur, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've actually been there. It's as bad as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, kinda.
Like, what makes it so bad?
All right. Well, the main thing is that it smells. It's got.
So does Chicago.
Like what?
Chicago smells.
Yeah, I know, but
So does Crystal Lake if you go to the right places.
Matt's house.
That's
Wow.
your house. Shut up.
Oh,
yeah. What the fuck? It does kind of smell in here, by the way. Clean it up. Anyway, it's kind of like, what do they do there? I can't remember. It's like some sort of granary or refining place of some sort. big factory, stinks up the place. You know, it just smells really bad. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a really bad smell. That's it. That's really
All
all.
right, well,
City
note to
The
smells,
self.
people I met
alligator
were
shit.
nice, and you know, there's places that are great, and yeah, it's just like any other town. It's got a good and bad side.
Okay. Well, note to self, don't go to Decatur unless there's something really happening there, because I'm probably not going to have a good time.
Truth.
All right, well, what do you guys say we move into some email questions? And
Let's do
start
it.
knocking those
I
out?
say
Sounds good.
that sounds good.
Okay. I'm glad. I'm glad, Chris. I was especially looking for
You
your
know,
input.
you said what do you guys say, and I'm giving you my opinion. What
Well,
the fuck?
there was just the like agreement across the board, and then you just I say.
Well, I do.
That's a good idea.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Let me hear you say it. Let me hear you say it.
You not wrong.
Oh, damn straight, I'm not wrong.
Alrighty. First up, we have a question from William, and one of them was addressed towards Rick, but he's not here. So, instead, we're going to answer another one, which I think will be pretty interesting, 'cause I don't know your guys' answers. So he wants to know, what is our favorite type of music or music decade? I'm fine with answering first, if you
So am
guys...
I.
Okay. For me, personally, it really goes across the board. I can listen to a lot of different stuff, but I find like lately a lot of the stuff that I gravitate towards has a lot of like folk influences in it. And that's kind of been something I've been getting into and really liking. Not like overly like completely like I don't know, not like pure folk, usually like hybrids where it's like folk punk or there's a little bit of like pop mixed in there and stuff, but yeah, it's usually more other stuff like blended with folk, and I've been really liking that. What about you, Hillman? You said you were ready.
Yeah, whenever I do a watch together with people, I always listen to music that I don't necessarily like, but I do enjoy it, you know, at face value. So I kind of like whatever, but when I have the choice, I pretty much always pick classic rock music. 60s and 70s usually, some 80s, but it's mostly like, yeah, rock, some metal, depending on what you classify as classic metal, because some people will.
I don't
think that some
know.
of the
We're
stuff I
talking
listen
like
to-
Pantera. Is that classic metal?
No. Yes,
Alright.
that is classic metal, but
Okay.
like I said, just some classic metal. Like I don't really like Pantera that much, but you could say that Metallica is close to classic metal.
Okay.
But it's not as heavy as Pantera. I don't know. I'm mostly in that genre of music, so
Sure.
yeah.
What about you, Nick and Henderson and Chris?
Electro swing. I don't really. It's like 20 swing music mixed with modern day electronica.
Okay.
Easiest
Wow.
thing to like to digest or get into is Caravan Palace. They're probably the best ones out there. That's, you know, an organized like group that does stuff frequently.
If you were going to give us a song, because this sounds really interesting by them to listen to, what would you
Give me a
suggest?
second. There's 2 or 3 names of these songs that it could be, and I can't remember which one I'm thinking of. So I'm gonna go.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, I kind of like that idea though. And we'll come back to like Hillman and I, but like if everybody just had to just throw out like a song that they really like, I think we should totally do that, and I'll throw them in the show notes.
Any
for this
song?
one. No, like kind of a song that you think it like reflects maybe what you've been listening to now, or like what you've been.
Oh, truffle butter.
God damn it.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow, this is really good.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I really like a bunch of different types of music. Pretty much my go-to statement is anything but country. But recently I kind of have gone through like a resurgence of going back to like old alternative rock and re-listening to some of my old favorites. But really, I like bands that kind of aren't really stuck in a genre, or like span a couple of them. Like Panic at the Disco does a lot of different things. Like they had like a hybrid folk pop alternative rock album, which was my favorite album they did.
Really?
Yeah.
You love it.
Pretty Odd is
Dude,
really good.
I have like one association with that name, when I hear Panic at the Disco, I think of one type of music.
Yeah.
So it's weird for you to say that. So I'll have to go listen to that.
Yeah, their first two albums were pretty much the same thing twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But afterwards, yeah, even their most recent stuff, it's a little bit different. You'd like it. You'd probably like it a lot. But really, what I'm getting at is the Gorillaz. Gorillaz is really, really great. They're a great group, and they do a shit ton of different music. There's some hip hop in there. There's some like rock. There's some like jazz fusion. It's very strange, but pretty much, if I can only listen to one artist for the rest of my life, it would probably be that band because there's so much variance in the stuff that they do. Plus, Snoop is featured on one of their songs. Come on. Snoop Doggy Dogg. So, if I had to choose a song by them, though, that you had to listen to, or I think you should listen to, Kids with Guns. There's one of their remixes off of the D-sides, I think. That's really good. I think there's 2 remixes on it. I think this is the first one. I'll locate the title exactly, and I'll get back to you, okay?
Sounds good. All right, and what about you, Mr. Nick?
Hey, I like a good mix of everything. Mostly hip hop though. That's probably my favorite genre. I really like Kanye. He's the best. I like The Game, Rick Ross, a bunch of the other rap artists, and I don't know if I can pick a single favorite song.
Well,
but,
it doesn't have to be a favorite song. It's just a song that that you like. Because
a
that's
song that I
hard.
just really like. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. Let me look at my Spotify I recently played.
Okay.
See if
In the
that
meantime,
helps.
Hillman, have you thought of just a song you'd like to?
God, there's so many. Like, I say classic rock, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's a genre," but it ranges for me. Like, there's this giant range from super classic, like early Beatles classic rock, which was basically like not even rock and roll, to like Metallica. So I don't really know. Go listen to some Rush. How about
Tom Sawyer.
Spirit of the Radio? No, fuck Tom Sawyer. Song's overplayed. Anyway, Spirit of the Radio by Rush is a really good song.
Okay.
I found the
sounds
name
good.
of the remix I was looking for.
Okay, what is it?
It's Kids with Guns, Jamie T's Turns to Monsters mix. Not remix, just mix.
I'm gonna let you type that into the show notes, so I
Okay,
don't mess
I'll type it into TeamSpeak for you.
up. Okay. Henderson.
It's called Dramaphone.
Okay, and what was the name of the band again?
Caravan Palace. Those are my favorite ones in Electro Swing, but Parov Stellar does some good stuff too, and then there's a couple songs from Alice Francis that are pretty good as well.
Okay. For me, I've been listening to a lot of this band called Hop Along lately, and I would recommend the song Sally the Second. What about you, Nick? Have you
All
thought
right.
of one?
So pretty much anything by Kanye, but one song specifically, "Devil Is a Lie" from Rick Ross.
All right, cool.
Made me bust out my man.
All right, well, yeah, that was fun. That had a lot of discussion behind it. There's also, well, hold on.
Or
we're
the
getting there.
weather.
No. Let's leave it at that. Let's not talk about the weather or movies. Let's see
All
what
right,
happens.
all right, Will asked a really good question about shows and stuff, but I think we will save that one for next week because he sent us this huge email with just tons of questions, which we've been slowly rolling through each week, and I really like them. So yeah, next week we'll cover that one. We did also get a question from Blake, and hold on, that is. All right, he says, with the upcoming release of Five Nights at Udyr's, I began wondering, how do you guys feel about the Five Nights at Freddy's games? I don't know what either
I've never
of those
played
are.
them. I know
So-
of them,
Okay.
but
I do.
Five Nights at Freddy's is some sort of like scary game. I only watched part of a Let's Play because I don't enjoy scary games.
I know more about this game, probably.
Go for it.
Yeah, Nick does too.
I don't know if you know, like, I know a ton about this game. Like, I've watched all
Yeah.
3 games.
Yep.
Okay. So then. we
And
can
have you
kind
watched a
of,
bunch of theory videos and stuff
Yeah,
too?
I have.
Yeah, no, me
That's-
too. I
that's
went down that
actually
rabbit
really
hole.
Cool.
It
It's
is.
really cool.
It is. Well, the first one was kind of like I wasn't really sure how far I
Yeah.
wanted to follow it, and then they started exploring more stuff with 2 and 3, which was great. all the secrets that they put in 3 were pretty fantastic. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Well, I'm getting ahead of both of us. I suppose we're both going to talk about it. But Five Nights at Freddy's is a survival horror game wherein the first one, which is what most people know, you are a night guard that has to stay there for 5 nights, and basically you have to stay there during the evening, and you have to you get like a tablet that you pull up in front of your face and stuff like that, and you're sitting in a room with 2 doors, and you have a set amount of battery. They have to like get through the entire night, like 6 hours. I think it's from like midnight to like 6 a.m. or something like that. And you like switch between these different cameras, like on your tablets and stuff like that, and make sure that everything is fine. But you quickly find out that the animatronics start to move at night, and if they get to you, you're dead. So when you're switching between these cameras and stuff, they're not moving. Like they just like go to different places and change positions and stuff like that. And you have to see which ones are try to figure out which ones are coming for you and stuff like that. And sometimes you like pull your tablet down from in front of your face, and all of a sudden they're like standing right there, and then you're dead. It's an interesting game.
Huh.
Nick, I don't know how much you want to share about
hey,
this.
Yeah, it's great, and there's lots of story that isn't told throughout the game, but it's kind of hinted at, and you have to connect the puzzle pieces by playing through the various games and finding all the secret endings and things like that. And I initially thought with how quickly they were coming out, because they came out within like a year of each other, right?
Not even like a couple of months
Yeah.
between 2 and 3, I think.
Yeah. So
And by a couple of months, I mean like 4 or 5, not like 2.
yeah, I think 3 months is the longest that it was time between games. So it was. I initially thought it was just, wow, this guy is making as many games as he can to try to just grab as much money as he possibly can. But they seem to be very well developed. I rarely see any bugs or anything like that. And then there's a lot of thought that goes into the story. There are still lots of story that is not 100% clear. So we've got a bunch of theory videos on YouTube and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the basic thing you need to take away from this. There's a lot more to it, but this game is based off of it's at a place called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is basically a Chuck E. Cheese in a fantasy setting or a separate universe setting, right? And it's based off of a story about 4 kids that were murdered. That's the story that's told. And there's some shit going. Like this place was a horror scene, like 2 murders of children and stuff like that in this place. And so like that sort of stuff starts like coming up. The more and more you learn about this game, stuff like that. I don't want to spoil too much, but that's kind of like the basic building block is that thing right there. So if that hooks you in a really cool horror game that actually has some real world ties, because it's actually based off of a guy who killed like 5 people in like a Chuck E. Cheese somewhere.
Stuffing little children into the animatronic.
Yes.
Animals.
Yeah, that
were then possessed by the children's spirits. So.
Well, that's the game setting, but yeah, it's not the real story that it's based off of. No,
like, what the fuck?
No, that's not it.
Did my parents let me go there?
Not in Chuck E. Cheese. In the game.
In the game, but the story of Five Nights at Freddy's is inspired by an actual crime that occurred in real life.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's by a guy who got fired from like what was a Chuck E. Cheese, and then came in there and killed a bunch of people. And the names of the robots are like named after some of these people.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, wow. No, there's a lot of research that went into this game that isn't apparent at first. But if you like go around on YouTube and you like look at a bunch of different really stuff, a bunch of different things like theory videos and stuff, it's pretty apparent the depth of research that went in.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. So.
All right. Well.
So what was the question? Do we move on?
Twitch chat question.
Oh, okay. Did we actually talk about the question? Did we just talk about Five Nights at Freddy's?
That was the question.
It was kind of just what do you guys think about the game?
Oh, it's great. You should play it.
All right.
Yeah.
How does it actually? Before we move on, how does it stack up to like Amnesia? Because that was the first scary game I played, and it was incredible.
Well, where in Amnesia you'll? Oh, go ahead.
I would say that Amnesia is still the most terrifying game I have ever played, have watched anything like that.
Okay.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's has a fantastic atmosphere, but it's mostly jump scares. And
Oh.
Amnesia has that feeling of like you are screwed if you get caught. Don't get
Yeah.
caught.
Yeah, Amnesia just has like a constant feeling of dread where every time you find a safe area, you just don't want to leave it. You're just like, I'm never going out. This is it. I'm gonna live in this hallway. Like,
That's how
Okay.
Dying Light was for me. It was so stressful.
I made a base out of barrels the first time I played Amnesia, and I'd run back to it every time something scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what you do.
fun fact, in Amnesia, you can like with a barrel or anything that's a decent size, if you pick it up and hold it in front of your face, like the monsters, their like detection of you, it like looks for a certain area on your character. Like that's your hitbox that needs to be in view of them. So you can hold up a barrel and just walk around the room, and as long as you keep the barrel between your face and them, so you're not looking at them, they won't see you. So you can kind
Wow.
of just sneak around holding a barrel in front of yourself, like just
Some
standing up, like walking. full
Assassin's
speed.
Creed level shit right there.
That's Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
right
Solid,
out of the
bitch. Look at
box.
this box with legs. What?
But yeah, so Amnesia's like a third-person exploratory horror game. First person, that's what I meant. And Five Nights at Freddy's is you're planted. So
Okay.
you get a few hours and some replayability out of Five Nights at Freddy's. Not so much with Amnesia. You get hours of your first playthrough, and you probably don't want to play it again.
Yeah, it's not as scary every subsequent playthrough because
Right.
the game remains the same. But Amnesia does have a wonderful modding community.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
so many mods for that game. It's incredible. Some of them are jump scary. Others are really well done and have a terrifying atmosphere, just like the main story.
Like Justine.
That was actually an official one. That's not a mod.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was made
Okay,
by,
I thought it was a mod
It
that
was made by them for some Steam event. If I remember
Okay.
correctly.
Yeah.
That
That
was-
Pigs, but I heard that one wasn't as good.
I watched a couple Let's Plays or a couple episodes of a Let's Play. And I
Mhm.
didn't get the same feeling in Amnesia, and I don't know if anything can recreate that.
Okay. All right. Well, as I was saying before, we have a question from Twitch chat, which is a kind of silly one. It comes from Harry Huini, and he said that he had played. He saw some boobs in Far Cry 3. He said they was nice, but do they belong in games?
Oh, boy.
Thoughts, gentlemen.
Well, all of us are women, so we can speak to this.
That's true.
Well, I totally didn't pick a romance in Dragon Age based off of the fact that I'd get to see video game boobies or anything.
Wait,
Is this sarcasm?
did you or did
No.
you not? Oh,
Yeah.
I did.
Wait,
I
did you?
did.
Oh, you didn't romance? You didn't romance
It was-
Iron Bull?
It was the worst romance in the game, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, just give me the goddamn video game boobs. already.
Which character did you romance in Dragon Age?
Cassandra.
Okay, I did too, but it wasn't. It was just because everybody
It
else.
was for the boob.
Everybody else hated me, so I had to settle for Cassandra because I wanted Liliana, but you can't.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, okay, like I tried every single time I play games like that, and they're like, "Give me a romance," and they give me a romance option. I'm like, "Well, which one would I actually court?" I'm like, "None. These people are crazy." But I'm like, Liliana.
Just look at them.
Yeah, Liliana's not in my party. I spent less time with her being crazy, but you couldn't actually court her because she's apparently mentally distant and somewhere. It was a lame reason. But yeah, Cassandra was the only one that was interested in me because there was a point in time. Oh, I should probably tell this story. I played that game a lot. I hated it at first, and then Henderson's like, give it more time, and I did, and eventually it clicked, and I started to like it. It's like after about 10 hours of play. And so there are different things that you can do during missions to affect the outcome of the mission, which basically affects on how people see you and agree with you and like you, or what their opinion of you is, right? So for me, I was really consistent and good at knowing who was going to like what. But then there was one mission in particular that I played all the way up until the end, just like I was drunk for the first like 90% of that mission. And then I came back the next morning because I couldn't finish the boss fight because I was just drinking too much. I just couldn't handle it. And I came back the next day, finished the mission, and then watched the cutscene and got out. And then everybody that loved me was there. And they all hated me for what I had done in that mission in the night prior that I couldn't remember. And I was like, no, wait, no. 25 hours, no.
Oh man. man.
So
It
back
was
to the
terrible.
question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Chris, after all of that, how do you feel?
About boobies in video games?
Yeah.
I feel like it shouldn't be treated as a reward. I don't understand. It should be. It's not a big deal. It's like any other art form. If it's part of the expression to get part of the experience out to the player you want, then should be fine, right?
Yeah. I kind of agree. I think yeah, as long as they're not being used like as a reward and like being like ridiculously sexualized, like Path of Exile has a ton of boobs in it, and none of them are there to convey anything other than like the absolute horror of these people being stripped down naked and tortured and like
Yeah,
mutated into these horrible creatures. Like there's like dicks in it too, but like it's just that's the atmosphere that they're going for, is that it's like this horrible place with human experimentation.
I played Dante's Inferno, the God of War copy, and there were a lot of just like nipples and breasts, exposed nudity in that entire game. But part of it made a lot of sense because it was like you going through the circles of hell, and like I had to fight Cleopatra and a bunch of other things. And a couple of the cutscenes that were not from there, like they were flashbacks, were like time appropriate, so I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but it was very obvious it was there for like sexual to make you more engaged with the game. I didn't know how I felt about that though. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Whether it's time appropriate or not, like you have to like you wonder whether or not they're just doing it on purpose or not.
Regardless, it's not going to change, so fuck it.
So
I suppose
over there.
think they should be treated just like on television. If it adds to the story, then that's fine. But if not,
they're not
it
allowed
doesn't
on
need
television.
Game of Thrones?
HBO.
Game of Thrones
That's
is on
HBO.
HBO.
That's
bitch.
television.
But it's not like
All right,
what is
fine.
it? Network
It's
television? Is that
a
thing?
separate subscription service that you have to
I still
pay
count that as
for.
television.
Doesn't HBO play porn like past a certain time at night?
Sometimes, yeah.
Doesn't that happen? Isn't that a thing?
I mean,
Who's gonna be
Matt
the
Hillman.
guy? Yeah, they do.
God
Starting at
damn it.
11. Let's finish this up.
Oh man. Alrighty.
Is anybody else
I
wondering
know
if
that.
we're filling up some 14-year-old fat bank right now?
Prob.
What?
I
Game of
suppose.
Thrones, Witcher 2. What else can we say?
Dragon Age, Mass Effect.
Go to
Dragon
Google,
Age.
type in porn, make sure you're using the incognito mode on Google Chrome.
Safe
you're
search
fine.
on.
Can we stop?
No, but their parents know
Stop.
about internet porn. It's video game porn they don't know about.
Can we stop talking about this on the show?
Hey everybody, thanks for coming out. We're just gonna close the show there. Gonna nip it in the bud. So hey, did you like what you hear and want to ask a question for us to answer? Maybe
Oh,
you
God,
can ask
please
us
don't.
about like dicks in video games or something. Who knows?
Oh, God.
Shoot us an email at casualcastshow@gmail.com, but don't ask us about dicks in video games because we're not gonna answer. We covered it this week.
The answer is mount your friends. Go play the game if you want to.
Oh, God. So you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/casualcast. We do this other show called LeagueCast about League of Legends. It's really cool. If you play League of Legends, go check that out. You can find information on all of these things I'm talking about at warfinch.com. That's our super awesome website where you can go. There's all kinds of cool stuff. There's member exclusive things, and yeah, we would love to see you there.
Yeah.
But that is about it for this week. So
Stay
we'll see you
tuned.
next week.
Stream.
Stay tuned for LeagueCast stream people. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.